Hong Kong today marked the first day of the Year of the Horse, with residents visiting relatives and friends and enjoying meals, including one where 1,000 people turned up.
A football tournament featuring international teams kicked off at the Hong Kong Stadium ahead of tonight's New Year parade.
And political reform was on Carrie Lam's mind as the acting chief executive joined hundreds at the famous wishing tree in Tai Po. Foreign tourists rubbed shoulders with locals as they gathered before the famous wishing tree in a Tai Po village. Every year, people travel to Lam Tsuen village to hurl oranges bearing their wishes onto the tree. Legend has it that the higher up the tree the orange lands, the greater the chance of a wish coming true. Some did manage to find the mark. Others didn't. But that didn't dampen their spirits.
Wow, I've got many Chinese New Year wishes.
A healthy and loving family.
I'd like to get married. I'm admitting that on TV.
A peaceful year, a prosperous year, and good times together.
I don't have any wishes, I'm afraid.
Foreigners get to learn something about Chinese culture and Lunar New Year traditions when they jot down their wishes on red lucky paper, tie it round an orange, and throw it onto the tree.
I think it's just unique. I think it's, especially from the Western side, it's something I wouldn't see too often.
It's the atmosphere. I wasn't expecting it to be so warming, so welcoming.
But the oranges are plastic and the tree is made of fiberglass. The original collapsed in 2005 under the weight of real fruit.
We were here before when the real tree was being used.
Acting Chief Executive Carrie Lam joined the festivities this morning. She handed out New Year gift bags to residents and wrote a lucky greeting on traditional red paper, or Fai Chun in Cantonese. Achieving success was what she wrote, and when asked if she had the government's ongoing consultation on political reform in mind, she nodded.
As far as the government is concerned, constitutional development is one of our major priorities, and I hope that we will continue to talk and establish consensus for us to achieve jointly this common aspiration to have universal suffrage in the selection of the chief executive in 2017.
But not everyone shares Lam's optimism. Pro-democracy groups are furious because the government appears to have shut the door on a proposal for ordinary voters to nominate candidates. Many believe that only candidates endorsed by Beijing will get the green light to stand for the city's top job, and there'll be no chance for civil nomination.
I don't think that mainland will allow that to occur right now. They want to maintain a little bit of control as to what happens here in Hong Kong.
I think the people are pushing for government reform rather than the government are pushing for government reform.
Before all the demonstrations and radical ads, I think it's more important to have the peace inside our heart first.
For many, politicians and officials included, the first day of the Lunar New Year was one for relaxation before the debate on political reform intensifies again.
Thousands of people are gathering in Tsim Sha Tsui to watch the New Year's Day parade featuring more than 30 performing groups.
Earlier today, children from needy families in Tung Chung were given a festive treat, while in Tai Po, more than 1,000 people enjoyed a traditional feast.
Villagers in the new territory said goodbye to the Year of the Snake and welcomed the horse with a festive meal. In Tai Po, more than 1,000 villagers gathered to enjoy Poon Choi, or Big Bowl Feast, where layers of food are cooked in a big container to serve an entire table. Foreigners invited to the feast were impressed.
Everyone's very friendly, people seem quite happy. Everyone seems to enjoy their company with each other.
This is very nice here. And it's hard to believe you're in Hong Kong because it's so beautiful and tranquil in this area.
It's an annual tradition that brings Tai Po villagers together at the start of the Lunar New Year. Participants in the feast are hoping goodwill and happiness will last throughout the year.
I hope for peace, prosperity, of course, for everybody, and I hope that the horse will bring some liveliness and some energy to the economy in China again.
Just for health for everyone, that's enough. Health and happiness.
Another special feast was held at the Touch Center for Ethnic Minorities in Tung Chung for more than 80 children from needy families. The food was donated by several groups and cooked by Hong Kong Disneyland chefs. Under a pilot scheme that began last month, over a ton of extra food has been collected from hotels and supermarkets, enough to feed about 2,000 needy people. Meanwhile, the final rehearsal was held this afternoon for tonight's New Year's Day parade through the streets of Tsim Sha Tsui. More than 100,000 spectators were expected to view the parade, featuring around 30 local and international troops. Arthur Kyola, ATV News.
Government cleaners had an early start today, clearing up the rubbish from the flower fairs.
And the Lunar New Year was extra special for 3 couples who became parents for the first time when the clock struck 12. ATV's Bolong reports.
3 babies were born in Hong Kong at the stroke of midnight. At Union Hospital in Sha Tin, Mr. and Mrs. Feng welcomed their firstborn, a boy weighing 3.18 kilos. Both parents are doctors, but Feng, who assisted during the delivery of his son, said despite his profession, his hands were trembling as he cut the umbilical cord. The couple said they chose a private hospital because public hospitals are always short-staffed. They hope their son will be healthy and happy, but it would be up to him if he wants to follow in their footsteps and become a doctor. Another baby boy weighing 3.2 kilos was born at Baptist Hospital in Kowloon Tong. His mother has one concern, that her son might be unable to find a suitable school when he's older. The third baby, a boy weighing 3.2 kilos, was born at the Adventist Hospital on Hong Kong Island. In the New Territories, villagers set off firecrackers to welcome the Lunar New Year. Although firecrackers are banned, those in remote areas set them off anyway in the belief that the loud noise will drive away evil spirits and bad luck. Flower markets did a brisk trade last night and into the early hours of today. But vendors and revellers left a big mess behind. At Victoria Park, staff from the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department were up bright and early to collect the rubbish. Health Chief Ko Wing-man, who monitored the clean-up, said the government is assessing the loss to farmers caused by a ban on the sale of live poultry because of a bird flu scare. The suspension meant there was no live poultry for Lunar New Year meals, but that didn't appear to dampen the celebrations. Bolong, ATV News.